Hello and welcome to the corner. I'm the Frosted Glass and I'm joined by my fellow Alabaster Savages. I like boobs.
Where is Moonshock anyway?
And where is Cool Cat?
There he is!
Apparently, Moon's internet crapped out like 2 minutes before we went live, but so hopefully he'll be back soon. Terry Diamantis.
I think he just went off to watch Tron Legacy yet again.
Yeah.
Son failed to find his other copy.
So he has to find that and his bottle of Jergens. And this week's special guest, Johnny Hellcat.
How can he leave my beautiful face?
So how are you guys doing?
I'm excited to be streaming with Garrett Hedlund's good friend, Johnny Hellcat.
As you all should.
Well, Johnny, what do you say we just rip the Band-Aid right off, huh?
Might as well.
I like the way San Francisco acknowledges First Peoples before meetings.
Oh, God. Oh,
I think that says SF. They probably mean Street Fighter.
Yeah, I like the way Street Fighter acknowledges First Peoples before meetings. I mean, maybe more
all over the floor.
Wait, but before you do, we just want to mention this gentleman over here is Native American. Okay, now you can go.
At least, like, Mortal Kombat has Nightwolf, and Killer Instinct has, I forget his name, but he's an Indian. But does Street Fighter have one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's Mexican, so I don't know if you want to count that, but he's Native American.
Close enough.
That doesn't count.
Tim Hawk and his student Lily. Lily's in Street Fighter 6. T-Hawk was in Street Fighter 2 and 4.
If you are so desperate for attention that you need recognition in this way, then you're a loser. And if you are so attention starved that you feel the urge to give recognition in this way, you're also a loser. So
Agreed.
Both the participant and recipient are losers.
That is true.
It may feel like too little too late, but it moves us towards human decency. By Patsy Ferguson, which I think is just a made-up name.
Well, if Moonshock was here, he'd be looking for the author's pictures. So we'll just have to do.
No, he would have given up on looking for the author's pictures and would just be sending us random pictures of nonsense.
That too.
Beginning last year, I started noticing some people were opening government meetings and cultural events in San Francisco with an acknowledgement of the first peoples who lived on this land. It confused me.
Were they, though?
I mean, obviously.
Were they the first peoples? Oh, well, obviously, this tribe was there first, except for all the other tribes that were there before that tribe, because those factions were constantly warring.
If you don't count the ones that came before, these ones were the first.
Yeah. It confused me at first, and I wondered what was the point. I don't see many Native Americans in the city. My guess was they were mostly decimated long ago in the age of the missionaries, and later pushed out and off of their land.
Why do people always use decimate incorrectly?
Here's the question. Why do we lump all of the Native Americans together into Native Americans? Because there were thousands of tribes, and they didn't get along that well. I would think that some of these people would be offended by the notion of being compared to a tribe that in the past might have been viewed unfavorably.
They don't get along now. Like, they definitely didn't get along then.
So why is this so generally accepted? Like, we just basically lump them all together as one group when they're clearly not.
Well, I think it's just a racial thing. Like, they're considering it to be like whatever race you want to consider them, but they're not white is like the point.
It would be like if we lumped the Chinese and the Japanese together, or the North Koreans and South Koreans together.
A lot of people do. A
Yeah.
lot of people just call that Asian. Like,
I mean, I
Yeah,
do
but-
lump the Chinese and Japanese together.
yeah,
But
better
I mean,
off without
you don't
both of them.
say. You wouldn't say that to their face, though. You'd get beat up.
sure.
They hate
but-
each other.
Well, they all
Sure,
know kung
and-
fu. I'm not gonna say it to their face.
But like, if you went up to a Native American and called them the wrong tribe, I'm sure they'd be just as offended. It's just that if you went up to a Japanese person and said that they were Asian, they'd probably be okay with it. If you went up to a Japanese
Yeah.
person and said they were Chinese, they'd probably get offended.
Let's see. But just because I'm not aware of something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And as I found out when I read Tommy Orange's novel There, there are big powwows that take place in Oakland and elsewhere in the Bay Area every year. There are native people living around me. I'm just not recognizing them.
Because you're an asshole.
I'm a native.
Yeah.
Where's my money?
Like, did she expect them to all be wearing, like, headdresses out in public or something?
How else would you know that they're Indian?
We're all
carrying-
hiding behind shrubberies.
Like,
Yeah.
carrying tomahawks, yeah.
Hmm.
It was the middle one. Sorry.
Mhm.
Knowing that changes the way I feel about the verbal acknowledgments. Now I'm glad the acknowledgments are made. Here's what the San Francisco Library says before events and meetings. The San Francisco Public Library Commission acknowledges that we occupy the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples, who are
Okay,
the
well, where do you want us to go, huh? If that's the ultimate game of all of this, is to say that we are wrongfully here, where are we rightfully supposed to be?
All right, everyone,
Yeah.
get the fuck out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
the answer
you-
is underground. They want you to die, go away and die.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
break into someone's house, you don't say, I acknowledge I am in this person's house, and then go about your
Yeah.
business. You leave.
Yeah.
So, if you feel this way, then just get out. Let's see. Who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula? We recognize that the Ramaytush Ohlone understand the interconnectedness of all things and have maintained harmony with nature for millennia. We honor the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples for their enduring commitment to Mother Earth. As the indigenous protectors of this land, and in accordance with their traditions, the Ramaytush Ohlone have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as the caretakers of this place. This
is some serious noble savage bullshit.
Yes.
as well as for
I agree, Okie Native.
I'm still annoyed. Twitter banned my tweet about the Washington Prairie niggers. I think they need to get a sense of humor.
yeah. Let's see. Okay. As well as for all peoples who reside in their traditional territory. We recognize that we benefit from living and working on their traditional homeland. As uninvited guests, we affirm their sovereign rights as First Peoples and wish to pay our respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community. We recognize to respectfully honor Ramaytush peoples, we must embrace and collaborate meaningfully to record indigenous knowledge in how we care for San Francisco and all its people.
And what a wonderful job you've done so far.
Yeah. Oh, and original inhabitants who protected the land and stuff, yeah, they actually took the land from the, was it Esalen people? Yeah, the Esalen were displaced by the Ohlone tribe.
Well,
So,
I
Don't
mean,
shush. No, not allowed. Hate facts.
So
no, I think
technically they're
Yeah,
the
I-
second peoples.
yeah, I think we should trace it all the way back to like the first human to ever set foot on this land is like whole continent is his.
Yep. This is Bob Land.
Yeah, or Steve Land.
The noble savage Bob. Bob
Or
lived
Steve.
in harmony with the earth. Bob inhabited the spirit of the buffalo.
Yeah. And then we'd finally have the answer to the Bill Murray movie. What about Bob?
Yeah. He even had a Microsoft named after him.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It takes a long time to read that aloud, and that's fitting. It forces the audience to pause for a moment before the meeting or event, and asks us to consider the consequences of our actions, both current and historical.
I promise you, very few, if any, are actually listening to the nonsense being spoken. It's just like, yeah, shut up, and let's get on with the meeting.
I mean, if anything, I would just do the tomahawk chop through the whole thing.
Or the camel and go, hey, how are you?
I could see Florida Governor Ron.
Eden S says the Aztecs apparently came from Utah, Nevada, New Mexico, and Arizona. So the first people left, conquered a whole ass other country, then got murked by the Spanish. That pretty much sounds like every game of Risk I've ever played.
I could see Florida Governor Ron DeSantis or others in the Goblin Party. The left cannot make insults.
No,
They are awful at it.
they really are.
Like, it has the same as 2 letters from GOP. That's the best you can do. Having a field.
What is it? What is it again?
The
Goblin
Goblin Party with GO capital, like GOP.
Oh, okay. So it's like their version of T-Rump. It has rump in it, guys. Like a butt. Because Trump is a butt.
That's it. Now you got it.
The left can't meme.
It's sickening to me. It disturbs me that this is what their hatred is so visceral that their brain stops functioning in the presence of people who disagree with them.
Having a field day with these acknowledgments, making fun of them, calling them woke, laughing and criticizing and trying to shame San Francisco as being silly for making them. And other people less rude might also find them inane. Scorn is cheap. But here's the thing. People want to be respected. People like to be acknowledged. It matters if the person...
And sissies like to be acknowledged.
It matters if the person opposite you on the sidewalk tips his hat or smiles as he passes or rushes by heedlessly, bumping into your shoulder on his very important way.
Okay, don't bump into my shoulder, but you don't have to acknowledge me. If I'm walking down the street and so are you, we don't need to interact at all.
Tips his hat? It's not the 40s.
Yeah, but anachronisms aside, we don't need to interact if we just happen to be walking towards each other on the street. Just you stay over there, I'll stay over here. We don't need to talk or smile or interact.
Yeah, in fact, just don't make eye contact, all right?
Yes, please.
And you know what? When it comes to this guy, I'm not going to talk to him at all. I'm going to cross the street. I'm going to avoid him.
Mm-hmm.
He's an asshole.
Well, It turns out he's blackjack, so I guess you're a racist.
Well,
it's not racist to call a black person an asshole.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But as I've been assured, everyone's a little bit racist. So, I mean, it's okay.
And as the song goes, everyone else is an asshole.
Yeah.
It is healing and inspirational to be treated with consideration. And healing is desperately needed on our planet and in our country. Inspiration, too.
Just lay off of that bullshit. I'm so sick of these people trying to pretend to be like, holier than thou. When the second something doesn't go their way, they just go apoplectic. Like
ano-
remember the 2016 election with Donald Trump, after, right beforehand everyone was saying we need to this has been a time of deep division in our country. We need to spend some time healing. We need to heal as a nation, and then Donald Trump wins. I'm gonna kill all of you!
but hey, at least Biden is doing a good job of healing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's much less dividedness now.
Hmm.
Yeah, we need to come together as a nation by getting rid of Trump supporters.
There you go. That's the way.
Another new thing I've noticed lately is an announcement on Muni buses. I don't know. That says gender-based harassment is never acceptable and urges people to report it by calling 311.
So you can harass people as much as you want about any other thing, just not their gender. So feel free to call the black guy a nigger. Just don't call him the wrong pronoun.
Yeah. And also, I'm guessing 311 is one they set up for harassment, but I'm hoping that it's actually giving them the wrong number to call.
I don't know what 311 is.
I don't know. I'm an older woman now and generally ride the bus with my husband. I don't remember the last time I was harassed in public. But still, I am comforted when I hear the announcement. I've also seen it posted at bus stops.
311 is non-emergency services.
Oh, okay.
Non-emergency service. Well, there are all sorts of services that are non-emergencies.
Yeah.
So was it like I call and be like, hey, I want someone to talk to for the next hour?
Well, it could even no, but like I need a pizza delivered. That is a service. It's not an emergency. Can I call 311 and get a pizza delivered?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Municipal government services usually offload non-emergency requests.
You can get a pizza if you were harassed.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
What this says to me is that Muni cares about women. That it wants us to... Because only women can get harassed. That it
Yes,
wants us to be safe and free of harassment when we ride the bus. And I appreciate them making that statement publicly and making an effort on our behalf. I wish that the buses did the land acknowledgement too, and they just had to do it like every 5 seconds as they moved to a new part of the street.
Yeah, every time the bus stops, they've got to read it out again.
Yeah, this was Indigenous land. This was Indigenous land. So was this. I don't expect either of these announcements to make a big difference in how Native American people or women feel or are treated by others. But I expect them. But I expect them to made some difference. They already
Native Americans and then women.
Yeah. Same thing, yeah. They already have made some.
Yeah, they've annoyed a lot of people.
Both announcements are statements of human decency. They define it for us and set it as an expectation, calling on us to behave like decent people. They don't solve colonialism or sexism or racism in an instant, but they're steps in the right direction. And the more steps in the right direction that we can take, the better. As my grandma Claire used to say, the longest journey begins with a single step. Apparently her grandma was a motivational poster. That is not an original saying by any stretch of the imagination.
No. Now we know. Grandma Claire was the one who came up with that.
Yeah. Was that a Confucius?
No.
Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I don't know why it's miles. I mean, it's considering that they probably didn't have imperial units in China.
Grandma also used to say, a penny saved is a penny earned.
You think it should be the journey of 1,600 kilometers begins with a single step?
Well, what unit of measurement did the ancient Chinese use?
Okay,
I suppose that's an ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Okay, I just googled it. The Confucius version is I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
Yeah.
the Scottish variant.
No, it was Confucius did it first.
Okay.
Maybe the Scottish covered
Maybe,
it.
maybe it was Mick Confucius that did it. That's why I thought it was Scottish.
Yeah. All right. Well, with the end of the first article comes the first game. And that game is Sad Libs Double Prompt Edition.
Which will be difficult with no Moonshock.
Yeah. Where I take 4 headlines from Medium, take out 2 words, and you guys fill in those words Mad Lib style, and then the chat votes on which one is best. Alright, so, Jack, I need a person.
I have to go with the person who I still think is the funniest politician of all time, Stacey Abrams.
Alright. Okay, I'm gonna split Moon between Terry and Johnny.
Ah,
Alright, Terry, give me an adjective.
retarded.
Alright. Terry, give me a living thing.
It's a living thing.
A mosquito.
I'm a skidit.
A mosquito.
Mosquito.
Yes.
Johnny, give me a transitive verb.
Fist.
Okay. And let's see. Terry, give me a past tense transitive verb.
Fucked.
Johnny, give me a thing plural.
Butt plugs.
Alright. Jack, give me a verb ending in ing.
See, I don't know what to go for with this one because if it's the mosquito committing the action, there's not really much I can do with it. If I say sucking, that could lead itself to something funny, but it could also end up being really basic.
Chunky.
So I don't know what to do.
Just pick a word.
Pick a verb.
Fine. Let's go with sucking.
Okay. And Terry, give me an exclamation.
Fuck. Well, no, I've already used that. Let's go with shit.
Yeah, alright. Okay, so
See, I would have gone with B-Man's I Dios Mio. But
Yeah.
Jax is Stacey Abrams stole a child, fucked a lesbian, and wrecked Nerd Game Night.
Yeah.
I would believe all of that.
way
Yeah.
to go, Stacey Abrams.
I am not surprised even remotely.
Alright, let's see. I mean, Terry and Johnny's is... When I was a retarded boy, I played with butt plugs.
There's a certain abruptness about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all young once, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Terry's... Why this white man didn't want his mosquito sucking with our black kids.
Yeah.
That kind of works. Kind of.
All right. And Johnny's. If you don't know how to fist pussy, just say shit.
Yeah.
All right.
See, I was hoping Terry would go with something more ridiculous like zounds.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to contribute so many words, so I kind of just went into lazy mode towards the end.
All right. And I'll start a poll so the chat can vote on which is best.
I'm gonna say it's Moonshock. Well, not Moonshocks, but you know.
Yes, the Johnny Terry dual effort.
I find that to be the most relatable headline. No, I'm just...
I hate to do it, but I do have to vote for Jack on this one.
I can't vote for someone who wrecked Nerd Game Night.
It's Jack with a moon at a close second. Let's see. Chat is going with moons.
The tag team victory
got-
is ours.
So we got 21 people watching it and 22 votes. What?
Yeah.
How
It's
does that
for-
happen?
It's fortified.
I
You don't want to be indicted, do you, Jack?
think
Oh, 26
you have-
votes.
What? How?
I think
How?
I think you have to be like talking in chat to count as a viewer or something. There's like some weird quirk to it. But yeah, I
27.
don't know. Yeah.
All right. I think I'll end it there since I'm sure some dead people have already voted.
Yeah. Get
And,
some trucks filled with ballots that just came in.
And it looks like Terry and Johnny win.
Yay.
Congratulations.
All right.
So, nobody tell Moon, or he'll brag that he won without even being
Wait.
here.
Wait a second. This means that literally everyone won except for me. That
Yep.
fucking sucks.
Hey, blame Moon, all right? That should be the name of the stream, is everybody wins but Jack.
There you go. I support this change.
All right. And we need to get to the second article post haste because this is our last week to celebrate Black August.
Yeah.
You mean Blogist?
Yeah.
What is Black August? Decolonizing Black resistance.
Isn't there already a Black Month?
Yeah. Dead Nigger Month is February.
Well, that will be addressed.
Oh, okay.
Right. In 1926, Carter G. Woodson designated the second week of February as Negro History Week. 50 years later, America finally took the hint and upgraded Negro History Week to Black History Month.
Oh, there it
Yeah.
is.
Yes, it's the shortest month
But
of
for
the
some
year.
But for some reason, we're not allowed to say Negro.
Yeah. Can we call it Negro Month? Like
I mean,
for
he
tru-
was allowed to say Negro. Why is that bad now?
like we
Well,
gotta
that's
respect
why it's a Dead Nigger Month, because history is dead people and it's black dead people. So, I mean,
United Negro College Month.
yeah.
I mean, we gotta respect the traditions of the first peoples, but we can't respect this tradition. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, it's the shortest month of the year, and yes, the basis for its existence is under attack, but I digress. Now we spend 28 days celebrating the innovation, contributions, and accomplishments of Black Americans. In this
How to
land,
commit 50% of the crime with just 13% of the population. That is a very long-lasting tradition of the Black American people. So, We should
Oh.
celebrate that.
Moon's in chat. Good one,
Yeah.
Moon. You made Jack a loser.
Yeah.
In this land where our ancestors bled, we have to fight for everything we get. And Black History Month is no exception. Yet somehow, this month-long celebration has been truncated and redacted to a 3-day weekend. On Friday, Lincoln freed the slaves. On Saturday, Martin marched on Washington. On Sunday, we elected Obama.
Well, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
Ugh.
because Obama helped race relations so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, on Monday, we celebrated Juneteenth, but since that's a holiday no one asked for designed to replace lost revenues from Columbus Day and Thanksgiving, I'm not counting it. But I digress. You can't digress again. As a Wompson, who considers herself fairly knowledgeable about all things blackety-black,
Oh,
Imagine-
God.
imagine my surprise when I learned of another month of celebrating blackness that I had never heard of. Black August is a month-long commemoration of the history of Black American resistance and political activism.
Here's a question: Is there a spare moment of the day where you're not actively celebrating yourself like a complete narcissist? Is there any time in your life where you aren't constantly feeding your self-indulgent need for self-gratification?
And I can throw this in here. Have they tried not being a total bitch?
There you go.
And no, Moon, you didn't win the game. Terry and Johnny won it in your place.
Mhm.
Yes, that it is true that since Moonshock wasn't here, now I'm the loser.
Yes.
Okay. Even though the month also focuses on Black history, it's different from Black History Month because it recognizes folks Carter G would have called disreputable Negroes. I want to start using that phrase.
Yeah.
The incarcerated, the gangbangers, the insurrectionists. Black August became a thing in the late 70s after the assassination of George Jackson and his brother Jonathan at San Quentin State Prison in Marin County, California.
So
the
the
prison was
inside
so
of a
bad
prison?
they got a prison.
Yeah, it's a prison within a prison. And I
So
looked
when
it
you
up.
go there, you commit a crime, and then you go to the next prison, and it just goes
Yeah.
down the line.
It's a nesting doll of prison.
Yep. And
and at the end, it's a prison.
The assassination of George Jackson, yeah, that was after he took 5 hostages at the prison with a gun and killed them, and then tried escaping, and he got sniped. So
He should have become a musician, like his brother Michael.
yeah, so not exactly an assassination so much as he got put down.
Mhm.
It's kind of amazing how consistently the same group of people chooses the single worst role models in the history of everything to put all of their social cachet into. They just dump all of it onto these shitty people and expect us not to notice.
Well, when you call it an assassination, then you're hoping they won't notice.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
incarcerated.
God sakes, it could be like a child murderer who raped everyone and like literally everyone. He raped like the clown that was next door. It literally doesn't matter. He could have stolen all the money from the church or the
That was
whatever.
reparations, Jack.
Whatever the fuck, he could have done every single crime in the book, but if he was black, these people would celebrate him as a hero. What does that say about these people?
Well,
And
yeah,
also,
it says that
they have no fathers.
1350 is rookie numbers, and they're trying to pump those numbers up.
And also, they get mad when we celebrate the founding fathers because they had slaves.
Yeah.
So they won't forgive that, though.
Some of them had slaves.
Yeah.
Other people, the others were just broke.
Yeah.
While incarcerated,
They were broke ass bitches.
while
God
incarcerated,
bless them, but they were po motherfuckers.
we the mofuggas. While incarcerated, George Jackson, George Big Jake Lewis, and W.L. Nolan founded the Black Gorilla family. Ooh, awkward name. A.K.A. JAMA. That I don't think they know how acronyms work.
No.
To protect and maintain the dignity of imprisoned black Americans, promote black power, and allegedly overthrow the United States government. I say allegedly because this is the organization's pledge. If I should ever break my stride and falter at my comrade's side, this oath will kill me. If ever my world should prove untrue, should I betray this chosen few, this oath will kill me. Should I be slow to take a stand, should I show fear to any man, this oath will kill me.
That doesn't rhyme.
Should I grow lax in discipline, or in time of strife refuse my hand, this oath will kill me. Long live Comrade George Jackson, long live the Black Gorilla family. Yeah, this doesn't sound culty at all.
No.
Well, I do have good news. Not all black people can rap.
There you go. That's true.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tyr loses at rapping robots all the time.
Yeah. And
Good point.
the best rap ever written, the Donkey Kong rap, was written by a white guy.
But no, the best rap ever written is the one about Jesus Christ being my nigga.
Well, that's the second best. I still put the Donkey Kong rap as the best.
Mom spaghetti.
I don't
You
see
can eat after the stream, Jack.
I don't see anything in there about overthrowing the government. Whoever wrote BGF's Wikipedia page must have been seriously reading between the lines.
Well, looking at their actions, not
Well,
just
looking
their-
at the actual lines,
And also George Jackson's brother took hostages at a courthouse, and several people ended up dead.
Michael Jackson did that. That's unthinkable.
Yeah.
no, that was Tito.
Oh, right. Yeah, I never trusted that guy.
The Soledad brothers may have been the reason for Black August's inception, but the month of August is a hotbed of black geopolitical markers, including the anniversary of the Watts Uprising, the born day of radical abolitionist Nat Turner, and the foundation of the Brotherhood of the Sleeping Car Porters.
See, when
Why
you said
can't
that, I thought you said solar dad, as in like a father powered by the sun.
I like how these activists bring up all of these failed uprisings by slaves. They always bring them up as though it's some sort of like message about how they were able to free themselves or some bullshit. No, it's not true. They weren't able to free themselves from jack shit. Ultimately, it was the work of white people that freed the slaves. Sorry,
also-
that's the case.
Also, the Nat Turner uprising, that's one where they killed the entire families of the slave masters, like in their sleep, like the women and children too. And yeah, it failed, and then it ended up creating laws to be harsher on slaves.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of
None of
people
them.
killed and made things worse for slaves. Let's see. Plus a ton of other black historic markers you can read about here. Even though it is not widely celebrated, Black August is important because it highlights so-called disreputable Negroes. Black people whose legacies have been tarnished or diminished by respectability politics. Like not murdering people. It
Or taking
recognizes...
hostages.
Yeah. It recognizes the efforts of the most disenfranchised black people, the incarcerated, poor, and platformless, who somehow found ways to organize and work for all of our freedom.
We incarcerated few.
Black August matters because there's danger in a single story, and anything that paints a monolithic view of black resistance does a disservice to the culture. When we learned about people who are challenging some of our most persistent and dangerous cultural norms, we open our mind to new strategies of resistance, solidarity, and ways of being and knowing. New to us, anyway. Black August challenges false beliefs and outdated modalities, like the concept that white violence can be necessary and revolutionary, while black violence is barbaric and pointless. Or the idea that our ancestors either fled or endured slavery, when we have a long and storied history of slave revolts. Or the whitewashed narratives that reduce historic and contemporary black uprisings to self-destructive rioting. The sum of the black experience is more than the struggle for full personhood within a white supremacist society. Our story deserves to be told in nuance and exegetical. I don't know. Isn't that a word from like the Cats musical or something?
I don't know.
Ways by.
I think full personhood is asking a bit much. I can go as high as 65% of a person.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's see. And exegetical ways by folks who understand our context and culture.
Maybe this author is actually secretly Michael Eric Dyson.
The vacuum guy?
Yeah.
If we want to expand our collective black consciousness, we have to create opportunities to examine the good, bad, and ugly of our geopolitical history. Black August.
All good.
Yeah. Black August is a chance to change our kids' futures by doing the historic shadow work of our past. I hope one day it will be as widely celebrated as Black History Month. All power to all the people. I do like that they have a month to celebrate the shitty black people in history. Like, I am all for that.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting point. Maybe we should just bring up all of these shitty black people and just list out all of their terrible crimes for the world to hear.
Yeah, February is good Black History Month, and August is shitty Black History Month.
Yeah. And that makes sense because August is the longer month.
Too bad we don't have a 13th month.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have Smarch.
Smart.
Alright. Well, with the end of the second article comes the second game, which is for the chat only, boobs.
Boobs.
And that is the caption contest, where I will show a photo of a political figure event, and the chat has to come up with a caption for it, and whichever one we like best, I'll tweet out after the show.
And I'm going to call for an honorary exclusion of Moonshock. He should be here on the stream, so he should not get a vote.
Yeah.
He should not get a chance to, suggest captions.
And I know it's predictable, but I pretty much have no choice but to go with this
Of
one
course.
for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is the photo of the month.
It's the photo of the year, if not the decade.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's more, this picture goes fucking hard. It's fucking unreal. Look at that look.
Well,
Furious.
My immediate thought was, look in my eyes. What do you see?
Let's see. A communist nightmare. Nigga please. I don't know if I'd be able to tweet that out.
Yeah.
Really fuckers? They lied. There's no McDonald's here. I will get you, my little pretty, and you little DA too. Pray to your God for mercy, you bitches, for I will offer you none. Building hinges. I hope that one wins.
Why?
Building
Uh,
hinges.
MAGA out of Compton. Let's see. The Donald looking more gangster than Takashi 6 by 9.
669?
What's
That's
that?
that Takashi 6ix9ine.
No, 669. That clearly says 669.
What is that? Is
He's
that
a
Is that a rapper?
weirdo.
YouTube rapper? Or...
I have no idea. He's a snitch. That's all I know.
I have to admit it. Ivana pegs me.
Mm.
Oh God, Pudding Brain DM'd me Jill's and Hillary's nudes.
That actually says Pudfing Brain.
Yeah.
Well, here's the question: How many times in the last 24 hours do you think this photo had the mature audience bot on Twitter alter it to look like a rap cover?
Mm.
Let's see. Fuck around and find out. 3, 2, 1. Leftist blood for the blood god. Commie skulls for the skull throne. Let's see. What the pizza sees in the microwave at 3 a.m.
I like that one.
Well done.
That's pretty funny. More street cred than Eminem. God mode activated. Let's see. The angry origin story of the Orange Hulk Trump smash. Let's see. Album of the year. I'll just give it a couple more seconds. Don has gone full Necron and is about end everyone.
Tier, you have to use correct punctuation. Did you learn nothing from watching Quippers United? You have to use correct grammar and punctuation with us. It does count.
He still thinks he's playing Rapping Robots.
Yeah.
I just hate fucked your mom for $500.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I'll cut it off there. So, what do you guys think is the winner?
Oh,
Building
it's
hinges.
It's Eaton.
The Eaton cast one.
Eaton's.
Eaton ass.
The pizza one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Terry, are you still going with the hinges?
Of course, I have to.
I don't get it. Is that a joke or is it just something random
Well,
in chat?
KVDM said that she was building hinges, presumably as a reason why she couldn't suggest an actual caption. So I will vote for building hinges as the caption.
All right. Well, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go with the pizza one. All right. So, Eaton ass. It looks like you win this week.
Oh, I just connected that dot on his name. That took me way too long.
Yeah, when I first said it, I'm just like, oh, that's how it's said.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I don't think I would have noticed it, but I think Terry said it right.
It's kind of like when people try and trick streamers into saying something dirty on air.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw there was someone who said, "Can you wish Nick Gurr a happy birthday for me?"
Yeah.
And then they just did it, and like they didn't click until after they'd already said it.
Oh, the hinges have springs. You're doing God's
Oh.
work, Keeve. Yeah. We need those springs, otherwise society collapses.
Never wish away springs ever again.
And I just have to take a second to brag because I already made my own version of this and tweeted it out earlier.
Yes, I saw that.
What?
But
The album cover.
I just switched it.
nice.
Yeah,
would
that
totally-
was one of the few Monkey in the Mornings that I actually watched, and I heard you suggest it in the chat, and then
why
so you
why
see
weren't you
it.
in chat?
I wasn't feeling social. I just wanted to have it on in the background.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing: the modern rap cover album wouldn't have any of the words on it. It would just have the parental advisory warning and the color in the photo in color.
Yeah. Well, I was going off of the 90s NWA covers, so...
Yeah.
Well, I don't listen to rap, so what do I know?
Yeah,
Well,
no,
neither-
the whole joke is niggas with attitude is
Yeah.
the band.
Well, neither do I, but I
Yeah.
did a Google image search. All right. And now, our third article. January 6th criminal has sentence reversed.
Oh Jesus!
Wait,
We're about
So
to
he-
have we're about to hear some really legally dubious claims, aren't we?
no, wait. So sentence reversed means he's got to stay away from the prison for a certain amount of time.
Or maybe he was just given a palindrome, like Bolton.
Yeah.
Palindrome of Bolton would be not lob.
DC Court of Appeals struck down a sentence that was imposed to ensure the safety and integrity of our elections.
Since Moon's gone, I'll throw the picture in the chat.
Yeah. Here we go.
Ugh.
I'm old.
Well, you are, but she is as well.
It's like a school librarian who had some of our life force pulled out.
I'm only 25.
As if we didn't already have enough to worry about, comes news that federal appeals court has reversed the sentence of a January 6th defendant.
Only
Ja-
one.
Yep. James Little, who entered the Capitol on January 6th, but didn't participate in either the violence or destruction of property, pleaded guilty to a charge which carried a sentence of up to 6 months in prison, probation, or a fine. The judge sentenced him to 60 days in prison and 3 years of probation. Little appealed, saying that he was wrongly sentenced to both prison time and probation. It should have been one or the other. The D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals agreed, in a 2-1 decision, saying that he could not be sentenced to both prison time and probation for a single offense. He should have been sentenced to either prison time or probation, but not both. Here are the options for sentencing for a Class B misdemeanor. Probation, fine, imprisonment, probation plus a fine, imprisonment plus a fine. There's no option for imprisonment plus probation. We'll stop here for a moment.
Here is the legal claim, but I'm about to argue against the legality of it because it doesn't suit me politically.
We'll stop here for a moment and take a look at the judges who ruled on this case. The 2 judges who were in favor were Justin R. Walker, appointed by Trump, and Judith W. Rogers, who was appointed by Clinton.
So horny.
The dissenting judge was Robert L. Wilkins, who was appointed by Obama.
So black. Okay.
Not what I was expecting. I find the Clinton judge most interesting. Clinton had run in 1992 on diversifying the judiciary and promised to appoint more women and minorities. Which he did, and Judge Rogers, appointed in 1994, was one of them. She is now 84...
Has it ever occurred to you that maybe the law exists sometime? The law might cut against your political beliefs sometime.
No, never.
No,
That maybe, just maybe, the law may not be strictly in your favor all the time on every single issue.
No.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, as the author is implying, blacks don't go according to the law, they go according to what they want. That's why we need
Good
Black
God.
August.
Yeah.
She is now 84 years old, so one would think that she would have been deeply offended by the actions of the insurrectionists who tried to stop the orderly transfer of power that had happened so many times during her long life.
It doesn't matter! Even if you think that these people are the worst people ever in the history of everything, that's not how the law works.
Yet,
The
Jack.
law doesn't
Yet.
the law doesn't take into account how offended you are at something. It takes into account the letter of the law.
Well,
And the
maybe
letter of
it
the law
should.
said this is what was supposed to happen and it didn't, so we're overturning that decision.
Yes, but what you're neglecting to take into account, Mr. Gunsky, is that the author is black and therefore right.
Now, the author's white.
Oh, well then she's an evil white supremacist. Who cares what she says?
Yeah.
So white liberal.
Good God.
Let's see.
Stupid. Just stupid. The stupidest bunch of stupid people. This website is nothing but stupid people with their stupid opinions saying stupid shit all the fucking time. They don't have any intelligent ideas at all. There's nothing going on in their brains at all. It is a miracle that they are able to breathe properly without passing out.
Jack, just so you know, stupid people sharing their stupid opinions also describes this stream. So let's dial it back.
Wow. 3 years in, Jack has figured it out.
Unbelievable.
I would have guessed that she would have voted against reversing Little's sentence, because she's black and she can't appeal to the law. Little is not the only January 6th defendant who received what is known as a split sentence, both prison time and probation, for minor crimes. The judges imposing these sentences said they did it because they wanted these defendants under court supervision during the 2024 election, to prevent them from rioting again if the election does not go the way they want.
Yeah. Rioting by casually strolling through the building.
Let's go early in the article. James Little, who entered the Capitol but didn't participate in either the violence or destruction of property. So his crime was walking in a building.
Yeah.
His crime was walking between the velvet ropes.
Yeah. Who
He
was
was
it that
walking
pointed
while
out
white.
Who was it
That
that
was
pointed out
Norm Terry.
Okay, the violent insurrectionists that stayed within the velvet ropes.
Okay.
The world misses you, Norm.
The judges imposing these sentences said they did it because they wanted these defendants under court supervision during the 2024 election to prevent them from rioting again if the election does not go the way they want. U.S. District Judge Royce Lamberth, who sentenced Little, wrote, "The court must not only punish Little for his conduct, but also ensure that he will not engage in similar conduct again during the next election. Some term of imprisonment may serve sentencing's retributive goals, but only a longer-term period of probation is adequate to ensure that Little will not become an active participant in another riot." What if he goes into another building?
That's not what the law says. The law doesn't give a shit if it's in another election year or something. The law is you punish based upon this circumstance. This is the maximum amount of time you can get for this crime. That's it.
Obviously,
God, these people are just the biggest bunch of petty tyrants. It's incredible.
Hey, would you want someone to peacefully walk into your home, Jack?
Yeah.
I didn't think so. Okay?
But keep in mind, if the criminal walks into your home to rob you, you should just let them take your stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If they're black, okay. If they're white or wearing a MAGA hat, then you shoot them. And their dog, just in case. Let's
You flashbang the dog.
I'm not into dogs. I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Let's
You're not a white lady, so it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, other January 6 defendants who were given split sentences will be appealing their sentences. Based on the precedent set in Little's case, they will most likely win and get out of serving probation, leaving them ready to riot again should their orange god lose the 2024 election, and call out his faithful supporters to stop the steal and take back their country. With any luck, the same thing will happen that happened each time the Orange Menace called for demonstrations when he was arraigned. The small crowd that showed up the first time became smaller at each subsequent court date. And for those...
I feel like as she typed this article out, she'd stop and be like, that sounds sane. Let's go on to the next one.
And, you know, the Democrats are doing their best to make the crowds bigger. Hence the mugshot. And for those of you who still think that Trump will not be the Republican nominee, the latest CBS News/YouGov poll of likely Republican primary voters shows Trump's lead is growing. Trump 62%, DeSantis 16%, Ramaswamy 7%, and no one cares about the others.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that, if nothing else, Ramaswamy is making a big showing because he is he's pretty good from what I've seen.
Why is he not 50 points ahead in the polls?
Exactly.
Yeah, when
I mean, he definitely has the name of a third party candidate, but he's making a pretty decent go at it for what he's been given.
Yeah,
but
when
we must ask the question: who put the ram in the Ramaswamy Ding Dong?
I don't know, but I'd like to shake his hand. He made my baby fall in love with me. Yeah, like the stream where Monkey reacted to Illinois, or I forget which state, but the one where they had all the Republican candidates give a speech, and during Ramaswamy's, I put in chat, "I want to have his baby."
Yeah.
Because he says all the right stuff. Like, he's got balls of steel.
He really does.
Yeah, like...
He really does.
He is far and away my top pick for a candidate. Like, he won't be, but, like, hopefully he'll be the running mate. Let's see. So, do you remember all of the remorse that the insurrectionists had when they had to face the music for their heinous actions and were looking at jail time for their crimes on January 6th? We all breathed a sigh of relief that they wouldn't do it again, knowing the consequences that they would face. Well now, thanks to the D.C. Court of Appeal striking down one of those sentences, all of that remorse will be gone. The same rioters plus new recruits will gladly storm the Capitol again at the request of their orange god.
For that one case.
Yep. Well, I mean, hopefully this time Pelosi won't make the, police stand down. Yeah. Confident that they won't have to wait for a Trump pardon. They can just file an appeal. Thanks, Judge Rogers and Walker, for encouraging criminals to ignore the law and try to overthrow elections. Let me know how
being black.
Let me know how you are sleeping at night when they start executing people.
On a big pile of money with lots of beautiful ladies.
If I weren't a reading man, reading this like a Democratic individual, this would almost sound like a threat.
Yeah, just a bit. And also, when they start executing people, once again, this guy entered the building doing no violence and causing no destruction.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah, he took a picture.
So, thanks, Judge Rogers and Walker, for not ignoring the law. All right. And now, it's time for
conveniently labeled Karen.
Yep. Karen White, in fact.
Oh God.
She's a
But it's
white
not.
Karen.
But it's not Karen with a K. So. All right, and now it's time for the final game of the night, and that's Poe or No Gender Edition.
Is
Excellent.
it really only 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's 12:05 p.m.
It's only 8 here.
I don't. Well, we're down moon.
Yeah. I guess we know who takes up all the time.
All right, and this is the one where I give you 3 genders, 2 of which are from the LGBTIA wiki, meaning they're 100% real, and 1 I made up, and you have to figure out which one is made up. And I'll even give you a short description of each one.
I'd like to
Hey,
find
hey.
a friend. Daniel, can you tell me the answer, please?
Well, while he's doing that, I want to hear in chat, how short do you think this show would be if neither Moon nor I was in chat at all?
That 15 minutes.
That's far more generous than I was going to.
Hey, hold on now. You're not taking into account reading time.
We'd have to get, like, Prospero and Sanguine on to make up for it.
And then talk about whiskey.
Yeah.
Whiskey, yeah.
Anything,
With or without the E? That is the question.
anything involving food.
Yes.
All right.
And make sure that you throw in the word jammy in there somewhere.
Why is
He really
that trigger him?
likes the word jammy.
It sounds
All
like
right.
pajamas to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what my mom calls him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. So gender A. Traumatogender.
Jammy gender.
A gender that varies.
It's
but was-
jammy. Sorry.
a gender that varies, but was based from intense trauma. Gender B. Devil cat gender. Xenogender, in which one's gender relates to cats and feels devilish or mischievous.
You don't say.
Well, I mean, we've got a devil cat gender on the stream with us, so it can't be fake.
Why is it that every single definition is self-evident? Oh, it's milk gender. It's the gender where you feel like a glass of milk.
I mean, not all of them are. And gender C. Old chocolate. Xenogender related to the old chocolate you sometimes find after holidays. So,
Old
give me
chocolate you find after holidays?
a sec to start a poll for the chat, and don't forget one of the options is that they're all real.
It's like they wanted to say chocoholic but couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm like an alcoholic, except for with chocolate.
There you
What's the word for that?
go. Old chocolate.
I'm going to say right now that it's C, because I think that Frosted was like looking around his house and then he found like candy bars from Easter because they have the Easter packaging on them and he had to throw them out.
C's fake?
All right, so Jack's going with C. Terry?
I haven't done it in a while. I'll go all real.
All right. Johnny?
My kid says to go for C. I am just going to go with my gut there and go B.
Okay.
I have news, Johnny. Your kid is smarter than you.
Yeah.
Yes, and he returned shopping carts, so clearly.
So he's smarter than you and more moral than you.
Yes.
Not all heroes wear capes. All right. Looks like in the chat, C and all real are tied. And we actually have fewer votes than we have viewers this time.
Mm.
So what you're saying is only minimal rigging was involved.
Possibly.
Well, you're the expert there, Jack, when it comes to rigging.
And no, none of my multiple personalities have voted for any of these.
Yeah. And I love how the media blew up when Trump said rigger, because they're acting like it's the same as nigger. It's like, damn it, we've been doing this for years.
I know. Trump's stealing our jokes.
Yeah, we were doing rigger before it was cool.
That just shows Trump watches the show.
That's
Yeah.
true.
There you
Have
go.
you tried inviting
watches
Jack
Clippers
on?
United.
Have you tried inviting Trump on, Jack?
We have to start.
Yeah, I probably should. Hey, Donald Trump, I know you're busy with that whole indictment thing, but do you want to appear on like a Jackbox game stream where we all
People
say
always
nigger
tell
all the
me
time?
I have the best quips. I have the best quips
Yeah.
in the city.
No,
And
Great quips. Great
No,
quips.
I was gonna say you don't just invite him like that. You say it's gonna be the greatest stream that's ever been. You sell it to him like in his own words.
Donald Trump, if you appear on our show, you will literally win the next presidential election. See, now we can't turn it down.
There you go.
all right, so I'll end the poll there. So looks like Chet tied with C and all real. All right, and the answer is, oh wait, Braniel. What's Braniel's guess?
C.
Braniel says C. He says Mexican yes.
All right, and the answer is, they're all real.
Woohoo! The one time
No.
I decide to go with it, and I'm right.
So that's right. We officially found Johnny's
Jake, help one
gender,
with the corners.
Yeah.
devil cat gender.
Well, that's actually like I knew that had to be a real one because you making it up would be like too obvious. Like, so that had to be like bait. So I was like, no, that's got to be one of the real ones.
Yeah, I was saving that one for when Johnny came on. All right. And let's look at the flags. So let's see. We've got
I hope it's just Johnny's avatar for the second one.
got this one
Just a
for
big rectangle.
we've got this one for traumatic gender.
How Vlad the Impaler.
And we've got this one for devil cat gender. So here's your flag, Johnny.
Boo. The hell is that?
Yeah, if it helps, your avatar is way better than that, Johnny.
Yeah.
All right, and
Also,
there's,
its whiskers are sausages.
That is
And,
true.
there's old Chocolate.
What a name.
Looks like skid marked underwear.
Yeah.
All right, and as in weeks past, I will also give you another gender, which is too stupid for any of you to believe that I made it up.
I'm so glad you added this section.
So now we have Porno Gender Edition, Too Retarded for TV. Alright, and let's see. Okay, and this week's gender is, well, you know how we had traumatogender?
Yes.
Well, this week's gender is sorta traumatized.
Oh my god.
Gender identity in which one's gender is sort of trauma gender, but not quite. And,
I
Good.
love it.
and there's the flag. Yep. So you can go around telling people you're sort of traumatized.
That is brilliant.
I'm like sort of traumatized. That sounds like something a Valley girl would say after the most non-event happened to her in history.
Plus, I love it's like something as extreme as traumatized, but just sorta.
Yeah. And not even sort of. They even used the shortened version of sorta to make it even more casual.
That flag looks like a makeup kit.
It does.
So I was held hostage by my crazy neighbor, locked up
Yeah.
in his attic for at least 13 to 14 hours. And I'm just kind of traumatized about it.
Yeah. I was locked up, but, it wasn't that bad, so I'm only sorta traumatized.
They kept
I
me in
mean-
captivity, but they did feed me. So,
I mean, he did give me cake.
They gave me food. There was a bucket to pee in. I wasn't in any real danger.
I did. I
Yeah.
didn't have to watch Netflix, so that was a nice.
Yeah, it was like a 3 out of 10, kidnapping. All right.
I mean, I didn't appreciate the dog collar, but
But it kind of matched my outfit, so,
he did have soft hands.
yeah. So, I could take it or leave it,
I put the lotion on the skin, but it was nice lotion.
There you go.
Yeah, like
Really
it wasn't
softened my skin.
just store brand. Like I started buying it after I got out. Yeah. I want to make that movie now, like the really nice hostage taker.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's time for our final article. Sorry guys, the truth is women are much better leaders than men.
Pushed in bitchy.
The numbers are in and they don't lie. Women outperform men as company leaders.
I will once again give the Samantha Brick example of her all-female company and exactly how well that went.
I just want to throw this out there. Has anyone noticed within the past couple decades or so, there's been a massive bloating of middle management, and it all seems to be it's all almost exclusively all women.
Oh my
And
good
they
dear
don't
Lord.
do anything of actual value. They just they create meetings and they send out company emails about stupid shit, and they don't actually do anything. What
It's
the
like
fuck?
it's like if Daria was like a liberal.
Daria's white
we
though.
we just it's almost as though an entire third of our service economy is totally and utterly useless.
Well, why do you think Musk could fire so many people when he bought Twitter? It's like most of them weren't doing anything.
I'm thinking Dolezal. There's no way. This is spray tan.
Yeah.
And this chick in the middle here, she's more eyebrow now than woman.
Yeah.
She looks like she kissed Ben Shapiro once.
I'm
Yeah.
paid to stand here.
Women shouldn't become presidents. They're too emotional. They could start a war because of their hormones. That's what one Trump supporter said to a reporter. Live in front of a camera, and it was a woman. She was confused and speechless at his follow-up question. Weren't all wars started by men?
No.
Yeah,
No.
no, they weren't. All right, so you gaslit this woman, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And there were plenty of female rulers, and a lot of them were very cruel and warlike.
Yeah.
Cough, cough, Bloody Mary.
But I think, historically speaking, women have more than men voted in favor of war because they're not the ones that fight in
Yeah.
them. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't called Bloody Mary because she had her period more often.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, those people who were burned at the stake, they committed the crime of being Protestant, okay?
That's true.
And there we are at the heart of the problem. Men have somehow convinced everyone that anger or aggression aren't emotions, so they can pretend that women's emotions are somehow a problem. All the prejudice against women as leaders is just that, prejudice. Women make better leaders than men.
If you want to
Which,
be let off a
So,
cliff, maybe.
so instead of thinking it's the problem, it actually is the problem.
Yeah.
and
There you go.
you know what a good example of prejudice is? Saying women make better leaders than men.
That's true.
We, women, have always known this. Look at the only female Austrian empress. Maria Theresa was one of the most important rulers of the Habsburg dynasty. Weren't the Habsburgs famous for being inbred? All right. Her
I mean, most
leadership,
royal families were.
but like more than usual.
Oh,
Her,
okay.
her leadership, reforms, and efforts to modernize legislation laid the groundwork for the modern Austrian state. Yeah, she's my second favorite Austrian ruler. Education for all, she made it happen. She led a successful, vast empire that men tried to steal from her by force, all while popping out 16 children.
That's a lot of kids.
If we weren't better leaders, mankind would long have ceased to exist. Few men have the ability to manage both a family and a career at the same time. Women do it every day, with success.
I was going to say, they do it every day badly. They do both badly, but they do both at the same time.
If they do it every day with success, then why are so few of them CEOs, as you guys like to point out?
Well, that's because
Because
patriarchy is keeping him down.
She had a very
Yeah.
particular dislike of the Jews.
Well, I mean, that's understandable.
Women are super powerful, Terry, but an unquantifiable, vague source of power in the world is able to hold them down.
Yeah.
That only really exists if you read feminist literature.
Or watch the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also under Maria Theresa, Austria took place in the 7 Years' War, which involved like just about every country in Europe. But now we finally have the numbers to prove that women are also better at leading companies, the big ones, the S&P 500 companies. You see, those that had female CEOs significantly outperformed their male counterparts over the last years. Over the past decade, returns for women-led S&P 500 companies have skyrocketed to 384%, 123% more than male-led companies. If you think that men make better leaders, not only do we disagree, but we have the data to back it up. The 32 companies that have women as CEOs have significantly outperformed the companies run by men over the past 10 years. The difference in returns is 384% from female-led companies versus 261% from male-led companies. Didn't you just say it was 123%?
Are they the same company?
No, they're saying 123% more. So the difference is 123%. So the men were 261 and the women were 384.
But that's not 124% difference. It's just the difference between the two, but that doesn't represent
Yeah. But
a fractional.
That's what the author means. That the gap between, like, the numbers, 261 and 384 are 123 apart.
Also,
yeah, but that's inaccurate.
Also, considering that there are so few, there's relatively so few female CEOs, doesn't that mean that it's easy for the number to go up and down more? Because you're taking numbers from a much smaller pool of companies.
Yeah. That's hate facts.
Yeah. And there's more reason to celebrate. The number of female CEOs leading an S&P 500 company has finally surpassed the number of male CEOs named John.
What the hell significance is that?
I think it's just to point out that how few female-led companies there are. Like there are more companies led by a guy named John than there are led by women.
Look, if it was a name like, Ethelred that hasn't been heard for like centuries, then maybe I'd be interested. But John is like the most popular man's name. So like,
Hey,
yeah,
I'd have respect for a guy named Ethelred. That's a badass name.
yeah. There was a king, Ethelred the Unready. That's the only reason I know the name.
41 to be exact, were led by women in April 2023. 23 by men named John.
What about women named John? I mean, equal opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that you're right, Terry. We need more women named John. Equality.
Damn
Yeah.
straight.
And you may think that sounds stupid, but it makes just about as much sense as anything a feminist has ever said.
So yes, it's stupid.
With 3.27% of men in the U.S. population named John, that's quite a win for all those Johns. And not weird at all. Gentle reminder, women make up 50% of the population.
That's actually not true.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right, folks. There are more women than Johns.
I mean, you'd think that they've got to be like servicing customers. I mean, these prostitutes. I mean,
But-
you'd
well,
think
yeah.
there's quite a lot of Johns.
Well, no, there's more women than Johns. That's why there's always such a long line for the ladies' room.
No, I'm just thinking like a John is someone who pays to see a prostitute. So you'd think
Yeah.
that there'd have to be more Johns than prostitutes. Otherwise, they'd not have a sustainable business model.
From now on, all toilets in London will be known as Johns. But why are women better leaders? The short answer is that they tend to be more interested in mission and value. They are more often driven by a strong why instead of a what's in it for me.
The short answer is they're not.
That's a more accurate short answer.
According to a 1992 meta-analysis of 61 studies, female leaders have a more transformational leadership style. Compared to men, they're more likely to embody the good in the organization and inspire people to join the mission. They focus on developing others, listening effectively, and thinking outside the box.
Yes, because that's what makes a successful company is how well you listen to your employees and not anything about like financial sense or decision making.
Nah, why do you need that? Women play better with others. I'm sure they do. In larger groups, women are more cooperative. They're focused on the outcome and less on being the head honcho. All the joint skip roping, all the sweet girly games where they negotiated the rules with each other as children instead of just following the loudest and paying off in the corporate space. Are paying off in the corporate space. Social and structured form.
How often have we run into a female boss type who's just the biggest cunt on the planet? It's all over the place. Wherever there are female bosses, there are cunty female bosses.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what the author's on about.
I mean, I had an interview for a gig where it was run by a woman, and like, I'm like 25% sure that I didn't get it because I was a guy.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was a documentary about boobs.
Yeah.
I should have gotten that job.
And that's not a joke, by the way. All right. So let's see. Social and structured forms of play emerged systematically earlier in girls than in boys, leading to subsequent sex differences in favor of girls at some ages, successfully in associative play at 3 to 4 years, cooperative play at 4 to 5 years, and social interactions with peers at 5 to 6 years. Preschool boys also display more solitary play than preschool girls, especially when young. Groups led by women.
So what? What does that have to do with managerial skills?
Well, that just means that women are better now. That's what that means.
Yeah, women are superior.
Hmm.
Yeah. But what
That
about
means
the
we're
men?
better. Fuck you. I cramp. Hear me roar.
But what about the women who are men?
There you go.
Groups led by women develop more intelligent solutions. In two 2010 studies, Anita Williams Woolley, odd name, PhD, and her team
Wooly Willy?
examined groups of 2 to 5 people. They found that groups with a higher proportion of women also had higher collective intelligence. Okay, now we're starting to sound eugenicsy.
Yeah.
Team collaboration is greatly improved by the presence of women in the group, an effect that is primarily explained by women's benefits to group processes, according to a 2010 study.
So you mean a homogenous group performs better than a straight, uh, one-sided group?
No, I think it's clear what happened. Like the groups where they had like a couple women and like a few guys, the guys were able to work better because the women gave them sandwiches to keep them, from not getting hungry.
There you go.
This one's got pastrami.
Mhm.
Despite all the negative flack women get, studies show that women are perceived as more equitable leaders. The mere presence of a female
No.
boss, compared to a male boss, leads people to expect fairer treatment.
Whoa. Equitable or
No.
fair? They're very different.
No, they're the same thing. No. Female leaders cued organizational trust in both male and female dominated industries, Study 3, and when they occupied different levels of the organizational hierarchy. There are 8 traits that make up a good leader: honesty, compassion, intelligence, creativity, decisiveness, outgoing, ambition, and hardworking.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Women trump men in 7 of these 8 characteristics. You can take a wild guess which one men excel in. Yes, it's decisiveness. No surprise there. Men tend to be quicker to make decisions, even if they don't have all the information. And consequently, these
Yeah.
decisions are not always the best.
It doesn't matter. The point is that making decisions in business is not just important, it's perhaps the most important part of running a business.
Hmm.
It's like you're saying, oh, well, here are all these minor traits. Here's the huge one where men outcompete women consistently.
Oh, and by the way, I checked the linked source, and of the 8 stats, it turns out that women only do better at 5 of them, not 7.
Ah,
Uh, Men win at 1 of them, and 2 of them are tied.
okay.
Yeah, so let's see. Men are better at decisiveness, and ambitious and hardworking are tied.
That sounds like women are good at being disingenuous.
Well,
Yeah.
always.
One of the 8 categories was being a cunt.
Well, the thing I noticed is that compassionate was one of the things, and like that's the one that women really don't. Compassion is not something I would think is a good thing in a leader. Like, not like you don't really have time to be coddling people. Like,
Well, it's important, but it's not as important as the other stuff.
like
It-
compassion is more of a luxury. Like, if you have a chance to be compassionate, sure, that's good, but you should have it as a pretty low priority. Like,
No,
for running a business.
I would argue that it's actually a detriment because ultimately if you want to succeed, you're going to have to make certain sacrifices, and those certain
Yeah.
sacrifices are going to require you to be to not be compassionate, to specifically be dispassionate towards the people beneath you. And
Yeah.
and
To-
it's sad, but that's just reality.
To
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to have decisiveness.
I mean, that's how wars are lost, is by generals who don't realize that certain men are going to need to die on the battlefield in order for you to win.
Yes, that is true.
That's
And
For
so
a
what they
long-
do is they hold back and they hold back and they end up losing.
And not only losing, they lose more men than if they'd just made the decision in the first place and sacrificed the lives.
For a long time, the image of the leader was associated with someone who could take snap decisions and always knew what was right. Women lead differently. They bring in
Incorrectly,
others.
in other words.
They ask for advice and are less afraid to ask questions. They can take the necessary decisions, but they don't do it alone. So while Elon is busy tanking his $44 billion acquisition of the artist formerly known as Twitter, and organizing post-midlife crisis wrestling matches with Mark Zuckerberg, women rocket in the companies they lead by focusing on what's important, not on their egos. Any woman who bought Twitter
Wait, are you suggesting that women don't have egos?
That is
No,
what they're suggesting.
Of course
How
not.
many times have you heard a female boss bitch out because you called them bossy?
Yeah.
No,
Or how about a female with a doctorate who's like, "You shall address me as Dr. Jill Biden."
now
I
women are
shall
always
address
selfless.
you as Sandwich Wench.
Ego is tremendous. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Any woman who bought Twitter would have sat down with and listened to the people familiar with the company's operations to understand what the best future would be.
I mean, Elon probably spoke to the people that mattered, to get an idea of how the company runs. But you don't have to talk to every single employee.
Yeah. Twitter would still be shitty if the new person listened to all the dead weight employees who had gender studies degrees. But men like Elon Musk think they know everything. They're so full of themselves they don't consult anyone. They signal their megalomania.
Maybe Elon Musk, the world's richest man and poster child for narcissism.
They signal their megalomania from rooftops of corporate offices and big flashing letters. Screw the neighbors, screw the experts, I'm the boss. And there is still an audience for this kind of leadership. No matter how obviously moronic Musk's decisions become, he has a tribe of fanboys vying for a spot in his colon.
Ew.
They believe that this kind of snap decision-making is somehow a sign of genius and a step towards some ultimate master plan that he has that will be revealed in the end.
He is the richest man in the world. What the fuck are you on about criticizing him over his leadership skills? His leadership skills made him the richest man in the world, you fucking retard.
Imagine how when the article started, I was thinking, this seems kind of typical for a Medium article where it's not really going anywhere. And then I'm like, there's going to be something that's going to show its face. And then the moment Elon Musk is brought up, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
But imagine how much
it's almost
richer...
as though Elon Musk is like Trump Part 2 in a way.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, imagine how much richer he'd be if he were compassionate.
Yeah.
Now, all this... let's see. Okay. They believe that this kind... now, as he emerges glorious, his enemies cowering before him. Now, all this cult-like adoration aside, Musk is probably at the extreme lower end of male leadership capabilities. There are much better male CEOs, probably named John, leading big companies.
Why? What is the hate boner with the name John?
$5 says she has an ex named John.
I think so.
Who likes Elon Musk, apparently.
I would say so.
I
But-
hate men, but I really hate John.
Yeah, I hate you too, bitch.
But their leadership skills are still not as good as their female counterparts. Okay, who's the female counterpart of Elon Musk?
Susan Wojcicki.
Jane
Yeah.
Tusk.
Like, can you name a female leader, like, similar to Elon Musk? The world has changed. It has become more complex, and workforce expectations have changed dramatically. Think Gen Z. Leaders
Yeah.
with a Z. Leaders with a daddy knows best attitude will struggle in a world where no one person alone can have all the information and all the answers. Modern leadership requires qualities that women have in abundance. We can argue all day about whether it's genetics or conditioning, but women are more likely to put their egos aside and admit they don't have all the answers. Pause for laughter.
Oh, she's serious.
Good God.
Yeah, where did the term mansplaining come from? I believe that's from women not liking that sometimes they don't have all the answers.
Yes.
They collaborate and coordinate. They're more empathetic and put people first. They value strong connections, not just with people they can benefit from immediately. I mean,
Why is it that all the female-led businesses seem to fail immediately? Like all of the we hire all women here.
Well,
All
that's the
those
Samantha
businesses
Brick.
they just flop because of petty infighting and bullshit.
Yeah. There's an article by Samantha Brick where she tried to do an all-female business, and she goes into detail about how big of a disaster that was, and all the reasons that it just completely fell apart.
Female leaders show up in a noticeably different way than male leaders in terms of building caring connections, mentoring and developing others, and exhibiting concern for the community. In today's business environment,
they do a great job of mentoring. They mentor people to do the same useless bullshit that they do, which is why we have the glut of middle management, because the middle management hires more and more middle management.
We prefer to say people tour, not necessarily men tour.
in today's business environment, this acts as a superpower. Women are seen as having better leadership values such as integrity, honesty, and ethical decision-making. They listen to others and are open to new ideas that are not their own.
You keep listing all of these positive qualities, but none of them I hear are actually conducive to running a successful business.
But also, the indecision is actually like I think Dante mentioned it in chat a while ago. There was like the two islands, like the men versus the women, and the women like failed so bad because none of them could make a decision, and like they spent too long like discussing things and never actually putting anything into like practice. So the male island was like up and running, and like they were self-sufficient by the end of the day. The women like needed the producers to save them like several times over the course of the show.
But they were more compassionate, Terry.
Probably, yes.
You can live off of compassion for months. So yes, women are soft. They care about the well-being of people. They want to work for a cause and make sure that what they're doing has a positive impact on the world. But soft creates better outcomes because it empowers people to be their best selves. They become more creative and more productive. Output increases. Companies make more money. So sorry, guys, women are better leaders.
Oh. Not only were... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I forgot. You go.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I think it was Nick DiPaolo on, I think it was the Colin Quinn show, when they were talking about women being leaders, and he goes, I think it was, I can't remember who he was talking to. I think it might have been Judy Gold, and she's like, "Yeah, women would make better leaders," and he goes, "You criticize someone's shoes incorrectly, and you tear each other's throats out. Like, there's no way." And that is very, very, very loose paraphrasing of what was said. But yeah, it's extremely true.
I don't know why you reminded me of it, but mentioning Nick DiPaolo reminded me of Rich Voss and his wife, Bonnie McFarlane, trying to be a man in the stand-up world and then like just failing entirely. And like, because she thought she was being held back by the fact that she's a woman, and that if she was a man, that she'd get way more like laughs and appreciation. And then there's like, nope.
And it's funny because I saw her Comedy Central stand-up, and it wasn't that bad. So I don't know why she had to go and do that, other than she's a complete and total idiot.
Oh yeah, but I did like that Rich Voss was trying to console her. He's like, "Well, it was your first day as a man. You did really well for a comedian on their first day." Like,
you reminded me of one of my favorite memes, where it's a guy in a car and he's dressed like a woman, and he says, "I'm gonna see what it's like to live life as a woman." And then the next panel is
fag a lot. Yeah.
Then the next panel is him getting back in the car. He says, "Apparently, women get called fag a lot."
that was brilliant. I really like that one.
Yeah, I love that one. All right. Well, that's all I have for tonight, gentlemen. So I'll take a moment to shill my co-hosts and guest.
I'd love if Moonshock came back right now just so we could get shilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I like boobs, paints his room on Saturdays, and does Clippers United on Sundays, 7 p.m. Eastern.
That's right. I'll be painting my room tomorrow, and I'll be hosting Quippers on Sunday.
While huffing
So
paint.
I can't do the show tomorrow, Frosted.
Damn. Alright. I suppose I'll shill out Moon too. He has his Twitch channel linked in the description, where he plays games that aren't as good as Super Seducer. Let's see. Terry is on every stream known to man. He's on, let's see, 6 of Sober streams. He's on Quippers United. He's on Johnny Hellcat streams. He's on Hammers and Mr. Adams Minions Nights. He's on the cover of Field and Stream magazine. Let's see, am I missing any?
Tears Midnight.
Oh yeah, Tears Midnight streams. Yeah. All right. And Johnny, anything you want to shill?
Minions on Thursday. That's about all I got going on so far.
All right. Okay, let's see. So I don't remember if I have anything planned next week, but we should be back next week at the same time, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see you guys. Well, if Moon feels like it.
I was gonna say, don't get too excited. Moonshock will probably be back next week.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Boy!